Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Welcome back to another baking therapy / reflection video. It's been a while I didn't bake. I respect how busy life can get and sometimes overwhelming, sometimes really down. So today's video is not going to be made with high spirits, but it is a must reflection phase that I really need to go through. So today we're going to bake crepe cake. But first, and like always, let's make a drink. So we're gonna have 5 eggs, 60 grams of sugar with a pinch of salt, 625 milliliters of milk, vanilla paste or vanilla extract, 90 grams of butter, and then 270 grams of cake flour. Bismillah. So after the earthquake happened, I was asking myself many questions. Did this disaster shift my priorities? What strength was hidden in me or in my community after a moment of calamity and disaster? Can I be prepared mentally or emotionally for unforeseeable shakeups in life? And in moments of catastrophe, what are the most valuable human qualities or human principles and human values that one should have? Today's dessert is crepe cake with a twist of mango and vanilla. Why crepe cake? Because it has layers and it reminds us of the layers that we have in our own personas, in our lives. And you know, like you have your layer of knowledge, a layer of experience, a layer of professional life, a layer of personal life, a layer of embarrassment, a layer of shame, a layer of guilt, a layer of good deeds. And you know, like one layer on top of the other creates who we are. And sometimes all we need to do is just sit down and start thinking about what are the layers that are foundational to our being. What is a layer that I cannot live without? Is it spirituality? Is it religion? Is it joy? Is it comedy? Is it calamity? Is it stress? Is it success? Is it the grit? Is it the thrive? There are some specific layers that are only ours, you know, like it's that defining layer that you have in your personality is what makes you different from A person and B person, C person. So I just thought it would be like a nice reflection because we just added a layer of disaster to our lives, and I think it's good to sit down and start thinking about that. Now we're going to sift it. So I'm going to cover it and then put it in the fridge for an hour, and then we're going to come back. Yay. Each one of them represents a layer, and each one of them is distinct. There is no crepe that is like the other. They're all different in shape, in the hue of color, in how burnt they are. It's like they are delicate fragments of time that are actually shaping the foundation of our individuality and our own narratives and our own stories. These small fragile layers are the silent architects of our identity, the silent architects of our character. And to be honest, you get to choose whichever cream you'd like. I made crème diplomate, and the process of stacking all of these with cream filling in between requires persistence. It's gonna be a purposeful journey. And I'm not just talking about a crepe cake, I'm talking about life in general, because each layer is a story. It's a continuation of learning, of growth, of embracing every nuances within ourselves, the good, the bad, the ugly, the shameful, the guilty, every single part of us. Communities rebuild, people heal, and then we add another layer to our lives, fortified by our understanding of our strengths and vulnerabilities. So regardless how thin and fragile each layer is, now you can see that when we're stacking them, they're giving us such a rich experience. So in the aftermath of an event, such as an earthquake or a natural disaster or a war or a life down or an episode of depression or anger and so on, what do? We have to dig deep to find a reservoir of our human spirit and our human values and our sense of community and belonging. And then once we find that thing, we persist. Just like this, we persist layer on top of a layer with patience and persistence. We get to find balance. We get to understand that every single layer has its own importance. And then we add another layer, perhaps more rugged, perhaps sad, fragile, but it's gonna be invaluable in making us who we actually are. Well, thank you for joining me in the kitchen and in life. And remember, every layer matters, so make each one count. If you ever try this recipe, let me know. Looks nice. Well, have a good one.